Hello everybody, it's EzraTime again here. Welcome back to another movie review, guys. And today I want to review a movie called Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Now, I know I was late to review this movie because this movie came out last year in 2022. But I didn't get the chance to watch it because honestly I wasn't that interested to see anything from the Shrek franchise, at least not yet. But I heard from so many people that Puss in Boots 2 was an amazing sequel. And yes, it took a long time for me to watch this because I planned to watch this like many months ago, but I just didn't get a chance to watch it, or at least like I didn't have the drive to watch the movie, until finally now. And yeah, I gotta say, man, this is such an amazing movie, and I know this is like a sequel to Puss in Boots 1, which I watched, but I don't really find that movie to be that memorable. I just remember there's like a giant goose or something, that basically attacking a village, and I think one of but yeah, this movie is so much more special, so much more charming and fun, and I think I get it, I get it why a lot of people consider this movie as a modern classic, in terms of the character, the animation, the villain, like oh my god, I kind of want to talk about that, but first I do have one criticism about the movie, but I'm gonna get to that later. I'm gonna save that later, but I want to talk about the positive aspect of the movie first. So first of all, for the story itself, we are following Puss in the Boots himself, where he basically living his life as a legend, and then obviously we all know that cats has 9 life, and that's basically become the theme of the movie, where Puss basically wasting his life, because 8 of his life was, destroyed or like, wasted, and he was in, he has like 1 life left, so if he died, then he's gonna die for real now and the movie is about, bringing Puss back to make him realize that, well, you should appreciate your life instead of just like wasting it, but the movie itself obviously opened with a good musical score, and there's a nice battle between Puss and a giant, on like a village. Like that was a really fun fight, and the animation I think is amazing. It's a really stylish DreamWorks animation, because I think this is like a different style since like the How to Train Your Dragon era or even Shrek era, right? Because I think the technology was so improving so much, so that's where you get a different style of animation from DreamWorks, which I quite like. It takes some time to get used to it, because I'm used to like the old DreamWorks animation, like the How to Train Your Dragon animation. But you know what, I like it. I think it's a really stylish choice that I think it worked. So like I said before, Puss only has 1 life left, so the doctor that taking care of him basically said that maybe you should retire, because again, you only have 1 life left and you could have died. So, but Puss obviously didn't want that, because he's a legend, he doesn't afraid of death. He'll laugh at death, right? And eventually in the bar, we met one of the coolest villain I've ever seen, which is called the Wolf or Death, literally. And my God, he is such a scary character in a long time, because here's the thing, like when I think about like a villain from like a cartoon or like a animated series, like I think back to like the classic Disney Renaissance villain, where it's like, yeah, maybe they're not that scary, but they are charming and they are a threat to the main character, which is something that Disney has been missing. And DreamWorks also has a lot of good villain as well. I remember Drago Bloodfist from How to Train Your Dragon 2. That was such an amazing villain. Grimmel from How to Train Your Dragon 3 was alright. Like he's not that great, but he's okay. He does the job, And yes, like this is like the first time in a long time where I felt scared by the villain. I actually scared for Puss's life here, because the wolf is such a scary character, and I think the voice actor Wagner Mora does a great job voicing this character. Like he sounds so terrifying, because every single time he speaks, I was like, oh my god, like you feel this character presence, like throughout the movie, and every single time he actually appear, you're like, oh my god, like I'm actually hyped every single time this character appear, but again, that's also one of my criticism about the character, which again, gonna be talking about that later. But so far I love the characters, every single time he appear, it's just such an amazing presence, and he is scary, the voice is so cool, and I actually felt afraid for Puss, in a long time. It's like, yeah, man, like it's been a long time since I felt, afraid for the main character, because like obviously that he's gonna be alive because he's the main character, but with Death here or the wolf, I actually felt afraid for Puss, like this guy could die because like the wolf is not messing around, and then they have the first fight in the bar. Puss is lost, for the first time, I think, and for the first time he felt afraid and I was like, damn, like that scene really changed me, because I think seeing Puss being afraid, even though previously he's being like a cool guy that's not afraid of death, but now he's actually afraid of death, and he's literally being chased by death, and it's like, wow. And again, I gotta say, I love the wolf design here because he's wearing a hoodie and then he's carrying like two weapons, like two cool, man. Also, can I just elaborate when Puss felt fear for the first time? We see blood in the scene, guys. Like that was such an amazing choice here because how often do you see like a blood in a PG animated movie? Like rarely, and this movie does that when he first felt fear, and then we see Wolf like scratching his head, and then we see blood dripping, and then the light flashes before his eyes. Like that was such a cool scene. Like it's a cool introduction for Wolf. It's also like a cool scene that they actually show blood on Pusses, and it's like, yeah, he felt fear for the first time, and that's why I think the stakes in this movie is much more higher than before, and I love that so much. Puss decided to retire now, and then that's where we met another new character, which is a dog named Perito, which I think in the beginning he doesn't have a name, but eventually they named the dog Perito, voiced by Harvey Guillen. I think this dog is a really cute dog. I think he's a really charming character to have, because he wants to become a therapy dog, and I think to some degree he does become like a therapy for like Puss and Kitty here, which is like a returning character from the previous movie, I think, played by Salma Hayek. And yeah, which is like Puss' ex-fiance, and yeah, I think these three make a really good team, team friendship, right? That's what it was called in the movie. And yeah, I really enjoyed the dynamic between the three of them, and I do enjoy the funny slash horrible story when Perito tells a story where a family basically dump him, because they put him in a sock, put a rock, and then put that sock into the river. And then the way he tells the story is so funny to me. Like it's just like he was so happy, even though the story he was told is such a dark story. And even Puss and Kitty was like, damn, that is just like a sad, funny story that I ever heard. I'm just like, yeah, I agree. Like, what the hell, man? But it works, because I think that adds to the charm of the characters and the animation as well, the voice acting, like everything came together so well. And besides the three of them, we also got another new characters, I think, named Goldie, voiced by Florence Pugh. We also got Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and Baby Bear. Horner, voiced by John Mulaney. And he basically become like the true main villain of the movie instead of like Death, which is kind of disappointing me in a way. Because the thing is that this whole movie is about them finding the last wish from like a falling star, so they have to go to this dark forest by stealing the maps from Jack Horner, and then that's where they found the forest. And every single time a different person touched the map, the forest always changed depending on the person's personality environment to have with the characters. And I think having all these characters together try to after the last wish, it's a really cool premise in my opinion, because that's where the majority of the movie took place, inside this magical forest, and we learn a bit more from Goldie and then the bear family, that apparently Goldie wishes was actually him to basically regain her biological family, and that's where the mama bear is like, yeah, we're gonna like help you to achieve that wish, which I think just a heartwarming thing to do. And Puss obviously wanted the last wish to be him regaining the 9 life previously, so he can becoming a legend again, basically loving himself a bit too much, and while Kitty wished that she could find a person that she could trust, which to trust, and she thinks that she got one from Puss, but apparently Puss just wants, his 9 life back, and you got the dog here that doesn't have any wish at all, which I think is one of the best character in the movie. And you got Jack Horn just wanted all the magic around the world so he can like rule over the world, like yeah, it's the classic stuff that and then among all of the characters we have Death, and I think this is where my criticism about the movie, because I do think while Death is such a cool character, he has a cool voice, a cool design, he is in the movie. However, I do think the scene between Death is so far between, and I feel like we are spending many times with the other character, which is fine because I love them, but I really wish that Death has a lot more screen time than he is, because I feel like he appeared in the movie like 3 times, like I like truly appeared 3 times, and sometimes occasionally appearing in front of Puss, but at the same time doesn't really do anything besides like scaring him, which I think is a cool idea. But I really wish that he would appear a lot more in the movie, because he is such a cool character. When he first appeared, that was really cool, because there was the start of Puss character that basically changing Puss in Boots character a lot, where he is not afraid of death, and eventually realizing that yeah, he is actually afraid for battling death, and I was like, damn, like that was such a afraid, and then obviously death is going to come after him no matter what. And the second time he truly appears is as he went in the crystal cave, I think, where Puss basically has this vision about his previous 8 life, and that's where he appears again, and he tries to intimidate Puss, and that will begin in the story, which I think is a really cool final battle. I think visually it's so cool and appealing to the eyes, obviously, but at the same time, the way it was ended, it was so anticlimactic in my opinion, where that just decided to spare Push, because Push is no longer arrogant, like he has 1 life left, and then he is going to fight for this 1 life and not going to waste any of his life again, which is like that's this thing his previous 8 life, and that's why he appeared in front of Push to basically give him some punishment, and I think for that, for his character, it worked, in my opinion. But at the same time, I wish he would be, he could be used as a proper villain, because I think the proper villain of this movie is actually Jack Horner, which is fine, I guess. He is such an entertaining character, but at the same time, that is way cooler. Like the character is way cooler, and I really wish that he is like the main villain of the movie, and to some extent, I guess he is to Push, but at the same time, only to Push, because I was expecting to see like a huge battle mayhem, on the stars, or like even in the forest, where that is like following Push, but at the same time he's gonna fight the bear family, and then he's going to fight Jack Horner's man, because I thought that's what's going to happen, like all the 3 party members basically fighting each other, and then all of a sudden that just appear in the middle of the big battle, and then he just like slaughter everyone, or like injure everyone, because I thought that's what is going to happen, because that never happened, sadly. He was only there to after Push, which I get it why he does that, it makes sense for the Wolf's character, or like the Dead's character, but at the same time I wanted more from him, and not just 3 scenes and then that's it, like I wanted more scenes where he's actually trying to slaughter a bunch of other people around the forest, like you could have a scene where he's trying to slaughter the bear family, or even the Jack Horner's man, because he has so many men. So why can't you just have the wolf trying to slaughter the man by using the blades that he has? That was really really cool, but that didn't happen, sadly, and we only have like a one final fight with Push in the end, which I think again is a cool final fight, but at the same time I wanted more, and again that's my criticism about the movie, because I think that is such a cool character. I know I say cool a lot, but he is, guys, he is cool, okay, I'm sorry. He is a cool character, but I wish we get to see him more throughout the movie, and I think we're gonna see him more if they decide to make a sequel to Puss in Boots, maybe 3, or maybe even Shrek 5, because I know Shrek 5 is on development now. Like maybe that's gonna happen, because I think that's really cool that the Dead's character is still alive in the end, so they can use him more in the future. Like we're gonna meet again, Push. It's like okay, cool, but at the same time, it was so anticlimactic the way it was like resolved. I thought we are going to see like a truly battle to the death, in the end. That's I thought, I guess I'm glad they didn't actually kill Death's character here, so we can see him more. But at the same time, I think you still could do like a battle to the death sequence in the end, where Puss is like winning the battle and probably nearly killing Death, and Death in a like perform like an emergency exit or something from the star, and then he could like also exclaim to Puss like, oh, we met again, Puss, one day in the future, like that could happen. But sadly that didn't. It was ended because apparently Puss lost his arrogance, so that's why he stopped doing it. It's like okay, like that was all right. I don't know, man. I wish he's way more dramatic, and I wish we could see him more in the action and not just in Puss, mind, and only on Puss's mind, because I feel like I wish we could see him more, fighting a bunch of other peoples in the movie, because I think, yeah, it's a missed opportunity in my opinion. But overall, I still think I love the movie. I love the character, and I think we're going to see him more in the future, hopefully. And I think he's gonna be an ally, I think, right? There is no reason for him to after Push again after the conclusion of this movie. So I think he's going to be an ally if he does appear in the future, which hopefully he does, and yeah, like for the rest of the character, I think Goldie is also like a great character, because again she wants to real family, but eventually she decided to no, like I got my family now, which obviously the bear family that she cares about, and then Kitty and Puss basically becoming a couple again, because I think it's such a beautiful story between the two of them, and then the dog Perito was an amazing funny characters, and I think the two of them makes such a good chemistry, and finally everyone can trust each other, and Puss basically realized that, well, I only have one life, so I'm gonna use this life properly this time. Don't waste your life, basically, right? And then Kitty finally finds someone that she can truly trust, which is Puss and of course Perito, except Jack Horner, which apparently he's gonna be the main villain. And then yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's the final battle was alright with him, but I just wish that was actually the final battle. But okay, cool. Either way, guys, that's my review and my thoughts for Puss in Boots. I know that I'm talking more about what I criticize about the movie about Dad's character, but that's because I love the character so much, and I really wish the movie used him more and not just like between the scenes in with Puss and only with Push, because I want to see the other character interacting with Death, and actually try to fight Death, and then Death just like psych, and then try to like kill all of them basically. Like I thought that's gonna happen, but that didn't, so that's why I'm like makes me really itchy when I finish watching the movie, because like man, like you can do so much more with Death's character, and then you didn't do it, like it feels like they're holding back for some reason. But again, that's just me. I still love the movie regardless. I think this is such a fantastic movie. It is a modern classic. I love the animation, the voice acting. Antonio Banderas again, amazing as Push. So yeah, great job everyone. That is really cool, and I'm really hoping that the Wolf's character is going to appear in the future movie, and I think he's going to be, but maybe as an ally, right? I think that's my guess here. I think that's the obvious guess for everyone here. The ending of this movie, I think is going to probably lead to Shrek 5 maybe, because they're heading to the far, far away kingdom, I think. And I think that's the kingdom from the Shrek movie, So I'm just like, yeah, okay. Like, and Puss also said that he's going to see an old friend, So I'm assuming Shrek and Donkey is going to be there as well. And we know that Shrek 5 is in development, so maybe this movie will lead directly to Shrek 5 maybe, or there's gonna be like a third Puss in Boots movie, because so far there is no news for if there's another Puss in Boots movie, or it's gonna be lead directly to Shrek 5. Who knows? But either way, this movie makes me hype for the Shrek franchise again in a long time, because Shrek is my childhood franchise. My childhood memory. Obviously the first two movies my favorite. But I need to rewatch them again. Because it's been such a long time. Remind me of my childhood movies. And I think that's a really great feels when I finished watching the movie, and I wanted more, and I really wish that Shrek could appear in the movie, and I think he does, Shrek and Donkey does appear in this movie in a flashback, which I think is really cool. But at the same time, I'm hoping in the future, this movie could lead directly to Shrek 5, but I guess we'll see what's gonna happen. Either way, guys, I think DreamWorks is heading to the nice direction right now with Puss in Boots, so hopefully there's gonna be another movie that was this cool, and it was a modern. I know that Kung Fu Panda 4 is going to be released in March 2024. The trailer is going to be released tomorrow, which I'm going to be reacting to it tomorrow. But yeah, I think I'm really hoping that the future DreamWorks movie like Kung Fu Panda 4 is going to be like Puss in Boots, where it has like a really amazing quality in terms of the animation, the character, the voice acting, the story, and most importantly, the villain, because I think this movie has such a cool villain, but I don't think they really use him that well, because his scene was so far between, so I'm just like, yeah, okay, like I wish they use him more, so yeah, hopefully in the future, maybe, who knows. Either way, guys, that's my review for Puss in Boots The Last Wish. Let me know in the comment section below, guys, what do you guys think about this movie? Do you guys love it? Do you guys have some criticism, and what do you guys think about the Wolf or Death's character, in this movie? Because I think we all agree that he's like one of the best villain ever. But here's my question to you guys: like, do you guys agree with my opinion that I don't think the movie used this character that well? I feel like they could use him more in the movie, or do you guys agree that yeah, maybe the movie already used him the best as he could? So it's like, yeah, share your opinions about that in the comment section below, guys, and let me know if like what do you guys think that's gonna be the next movie? Like is this movie is going to lead to Shrek 5? Or is this going to lead to Puss in Boots 3? So like, yeah, let me know about that in the comment section below, guys. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure, guys, stop and scratch that like and subscribe button, guys. Like a cat, obviously. But yeah, stay tuned for more videos in the future, guys. And again, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will see you guys in the next one then. Bye.